show. I do not see me for some reason, and I don't know why. Mike, I don't see me. I'm so sorry. Okay, wait, hold on. Maybe it's my video. Let's see. 1 second. I think we're just okay.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm working on
it. I'm having the same issues. I don't know. It's me today. It's my computer. It's my whatever is going on over here.
Technology.
Can we go back to one real fast since we just started?
Yeah.
Let's just go back to one if that's okay. I'm only going to do a 1 minute, but we're just going to hit the intro one more time real quick. So it's a real smooth and not a choppy. Is that okay, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need a little time, Lisa, to figure it out?
I'm going to just give me 1 second. Let me just plug this in one more time. It just really has a mind of its own today. Hold on. Let's see. I don't know. I'm telling you, just cannot win for losing here. It's weird. And I wish I knew how I fix it. Like if I can remember how I fix it, then I can fix it every time.
Sounds like my iPad when I have it plugged in and on. It decharges when it's plugged in and on. And I'm like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Lise?
I just don't know what it is. Let me see here one more time. Let's see. Try this one more time. Yeah, just doing that same darn thing. Mike, I think I'm okay because I'm kind of matched up with hers. Do you think her camera's clearer than mine?
Yeah, I'm getting a better clear camera of her, but just barely. Also, yours could just be a soft filter, which is very common. I thought that's what we had. I honestly thought you would put a soft filter on.
Oh, you did?
Okay. Yeah, which is fine if you want to do that. I thought you just had a soft filter on. If you want to work on that, get it, try to dial it in. We can do that too. What do you think?
How did I fix this last time? What did I do?
Personally, I think you look good. But
okay, as long as
we need to make you. We need to, you need to be happy. Honestly, I don't want you to look back at this and go, "I hate that." So, if we need 2 minutes, Courtney, is it okay if she takes 2 minutes to try to dial?
Yeah, I'm trying to see which way is best for my camera.
You look great. You look great, Court. You look great.
Thank you.
Your lighting is great. You've got great natural lighting. You're looking good, Courtney. Yeah.
Thank you.
You've got great natural lighting. I might have you talk for 10 seconds just to get a good audio level once Lisa's dialed in, right? Because I need you two to kind of sound the same, if that makes sense, right? So when people tune in, one of you isn't blown out and the other one is too quiet or whatever. But we're going to let Lisa get her stuff locked in, and then we're going to get about 5 to 10 seconds of audio, meaning you guys talking both, right? Dial that in and we'll be good to go. No problem. We just want to make sure everybody's, on the same page there. Meaning when somebody watches, you guys look similar. The goal is to make you look like you're in the same room, right? So, yeah. So, okay, Lisa, you take all the time. I got you. We're here. Okay,
I'm going to try this one more time. Let me see here.
No stress. No rush. Take your time. Manage cameras. Better we do it right than we do it
Luckily, there are no storms here right now, so we have time.
Okay, 1 second here. Let's see. Try it one more time. I don't know what it is. It's so weird. Your trick worked last time, Mike, but unfortunately, it's not working this time. Let me try to change the ports one more time, okay? I'm going to try to do what you said again. Let's see. I'm going to try this one more time. Let's try it one more time. Let's try this one more time. Still not doing it.
Lisa, you're looking good. By the way, just so you know, that last frame right there. Can you hear me, Lisa?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't see the. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let me try to pull you up.
From a producer, you're looking good. Okay, now we got a little glare in the glasses, but there you go. Right there. See? check yourself real fast. Check your
Okay. Yeah. I know you're saying the soft filter, so that's fine. It's using my laptop computer. And you know, when you go to the settings in StreamYard, for some reason, it's not recognizing
reading your camera. Yeah.
that camera.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have a choice. Couple different. Oh, there she goes. Can you hear me,
Yeah.
Lise?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Couple
Yeah.
different options. One, you can restart your you can unplug your external cam, turn your computer off, plug it in, turn your computer back on to see if it catches it in a refresh or a restart, excuse me. See if it catches your external cam on StreamYard.
Okay.
And we can do that if you like, and then it should pick it up. If it doesn't for some reason, when you're in the StreamYard settings, we can unplug it, plug it back in like we did last show, which seemed to work. I think you may have a short in your camera cord.
It's got to be what it is.
And then once again, if you have a different USB outlet on your computer, right? Like you have one USB for one thing and another, it could be the port. And if you switch ports that you plug your camera into, that might fix it as well. Not seeing I have any answers. You know what I mean? So, Courtney, are you still with us?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. I'm sorry, Court. Welcome to the wonderful world of production. Sorry about that. Thank you for
Yeah,
being
I've been in StreamYard things before.
Aren't they fun? Aren't
Yeah.
they fun? It's like doing your taxes, waiting in line at the DMV, and working with StreamYard. They're all in the same kind of restaurant.
Facebook, you know.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on Facebook.
Like,
Okay, let me know,
literally-
Lise.
Yeah. Like, literally, Facebook has been giving me so many problems recently. Like, I try to get into, like, messages or, like, on my feed. And then it's like, do you want to wait for Facebook or reload it? I'm like, what? Why? I can see everything.
Right?
I just can't do any actions.
That is fair. Thank you for your patience. How you doing, Lise? Oh, she's on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's okay. I'm gonna try this one more time, and if it doesn't, okay, there it is. It just worked again. So it's got to be what you said. It's got to be a short. It's got to be a short. There's just no other way to deal with
Yeah.
it.
See, there you are.
Gosh. Okay, there it is. Okay, it's not mirroring the whatever. It's fine. Okay, it's good. We'll just go a little bit more this way. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, I'm on the other side now. It's fun. No, Mike. Do you see what I'm saying? Usually the picture's on the other side.
Yes, I do.
Right.
Just as long as I think we're ready. If it's okay, don't touch anything and we go. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think so too. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, and we're only going to go for maybe like about 30 with Courtney, because it's mostly just her telling her about her epilepsy journey, her story.
Okay.
Mike,
you got a
when we
producer.
first
You just run it, and I'll bring the train in when
Okay.
I'll listen for your cues.
when we first come on, can you just come on with me on camera just so I can talk about the beanies real quick and then just the recap? Perfect. Okay. Okay, so we're good.
Yeah,
Are we
1
doing
minute.
another
We're gonna do
intro?
a 1 minute. We're gonna do a
Okay.
1 minute restart.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. I am Lisa Lopez Griggs. I'm one of the co-hosts here at the Feed. Just wanted to take a minute. It's middle of the week, And we actually have a guest on today I'm super excited about, but I just want to take a minute. We are growing like crazy in our groups. And so we just wanted to give a real quick shout out to Love My Melon. We still have beanies that we're giving away. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also invite. As we see you in the group, promoting the group and actually engaging with everybody else in the group, we're going to make sure that whoever is engaging the most, that we're going to send them a free beanie on Faces of Epilepsy and the F.E.E.D. Okay. The other thing is I wanted to mention is we have been having a lot of guests on because we're telling the stories. We are basically having this platform here to share other people's stories. We find that when other people share their stories, you can see yourself as an epileptic or a caretaker in their stories. And so you can borrow their confidence. You cannot feel alone, feel like you actually belong to a community. And so we want to thank our amazing producer, Mike, who, if it wasn't for him, none of this would be going on. And he's been under the weather. So please make sure to pray for him so that he would feel better. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick before we bring our guest on, Courtney from Florida, is that epilepsy affects about 50 million worldwide. So I just want to make sure that for those of you that are listening in for the first time, why the F.E.E.D and Faces of Epilepsy communities were created is because there is so little advocacy, research dollars, and awareness and education with regard to epilepsy. Yet epilepsy affects more people in our own country of the USA than people with cerebral palsy, autism, MS, and Parkinson's disease combined. So there are 3.4 million epileptics just in the USA. 1 out of 26 people will be diagnosed with epilepsy in their life, and 1 out of 10 will have a seizure at some point. And 1 out of 1,000 will actually pass away of SUDEP, which is related to epilepsy. So we want to make sure that you know that we are here for you as a community, and we want to hear your story. We want to hear what your epilepsy journey has been like, so that you feel heard, and so that others can see themselves in your journey and not know that they're not alone. So with that, let's bring Courtney on today. This is part of our amazing storytelling, sharing, I love it. Courtney, thank you so much for joining us today. I know we've been trying to schedule you for a while, and you guys have had some storms out there in Florida, I understand.
Maryland.
Right? Maryland. Oh my gosh.
East
That's
Coast.
right. You're in Maryland. And what's the weather been like there?
So it's been a crazy March, honestly. We've had snow, we've had rain, wind, sun, almost every single weather condition you can have, we've had.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I wanted to have you on today. I know that you have a story. You have a story about epilepsy. And for those of us that don't know your journey with epilepsy, where did that start? When did you first have your first seizure and were diagnosed with epilepsy?
So I was first diagnosed with epilepsy in March of 99, right around this time of year, which is one of the many traumas that have happened on around my birthday. My birthday's on Friday, so
happy birthday.
It makes it hard to celebrate my birthday when there's so much trauma surrounding it. But I try to be happy on my birthday. It doesn't always work out, but I do my best. And I was actually, funny you said Florida, because I got diagnosed when I was in a spring break trip my 8th grade year in Florida, visiting my mom's parents at their house. We were there to celebrate my birthday and my cousin's birthday, who was born the day before me, the year before me.
Wow.
So we was there to celebrate both of our birthdays, like combined. And all I remember was getting ready for bed in the bathroom, and then all of a sudden I wake up in the hospital, like totally confused what was going on. Like,
Wow.
how did
So
I
they
get?
actually admitted you to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Was
So,
your seizure that bad? Was it a tonic-clonic?
yeah, my mom
Normal?
claimed I called out Mom and then fell to the floor.
Okay.
And her sister, whose son was born the day and year before me, is a nurse. So
Okay.
she recognized that it was a seizure, thankfully. So she called 911, and or I don't know who called 911, but
Right.
somebody called 911.
Right. And you ended up at the hospital. And how long were you at the hospital for?
They were supposed to release me after all the tests were done the next day, but it was 1.5 days later.
Okay, so you had a lot of tests done, and then did they diagnose you at that point with
Yeah.
epilepsy, meaning that based on the neurological tests that you had a propensity towards
Yeah.
seizures? Okay.
Yeah.
And then
So
were you put on medication right away, or how
yeah,
did
I
you
literally had
start
to
to
take
handle
medication just before he flew back home.
that? Okay.
Like, before we went on the plane, which was crazy because obviously I don't live in Florida, so like it
Right.
was kind of weird getting medication from a doctor in Florida,
Right.
and then having
Yeah.
to find a neurologist here, like.
Yeah.
But
And now you've been going to your neurologist there in Maryland. And how has that been going for you? Are you
so
seizure free?
I,
Are you still having seizures?
I was 15, so I was in high school.
Okay.
Well, I was eighth, since it happened in the spring of '99. I was in 8th grade, finishing up 8th grade.
Mhm.
And then in the fall, I transferred to high school because I was done with middle school.
Mhm.
So, like, 2 transitions at the same time, like, trying to get used to, like, so I had a life with that, as far as we know, was without epilepsy. But
Wow.
looking back, I was thinking about how my mom said that I had a seizure with a fever at one point.
Mhm.
And then I remember my family from time to time saying that it looked like I was staring off into space, and they'd go like this to Courtney, and I wasn't responding. So
Wow.
looking back, I think I had it before I was diagnosed, and we just didn't know.
Right. That is a specific type of seizure. The one that ended up in the hospital was that tonic-clonic. But what you're saying is that you had it's a, where you're more stoic type
Yeah,
of seizures that you were having. Absent, I think they're called absent seizures.
yeah.
Yeah, where you're
And
just like, you don't know.
we didn't know that before, like, I was
Right.
diagnosed. We didn't know that they were seizures at all. Like, we just thought they just thought I was staring off into space, and
Yeah,
like I was just so into whatever was going out off in space in my mind that, like,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
not
So
responding.
interesting. So interesting. How is your journey now then? Are your seizures under control?
So we found out that many years later that it was because when I was 3, almost 4, I was hiking with my parents in a local park, and toward the end of the trail we were on, it was a breezy day, and a dead tree fell on my head. So we found out that it was because of the traumatic brain injury that,
Yes.
and so obviously they took me to the closest hospital to the park, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was an emergency,
Mhm.
and that hospital just sent me home saying it just cut and grazed my left temple,
Ah,
and to keep an eye on me for the next 48 hours.
okay.
And I my parents couldn't keep me awake, and probably as a kid, I was probably confused, right? They were trying to keep me awake.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
normally say, go to sleep, and then all of a sudden I'm
Yeah.
being told to stay awake. What's going on? And
Yeah.
since they couldn't keep me awake, they had to take me to Children's in DC,
Wow.
where the neurosurgeon said I had a subdural hematoma,
Okay.
which is bleeding in the brain.
Okay. Wow.
And when he opened me up, I was, up to that point in his career, I was the closest patient he had to death.
I was just about to say that. It's a miracle that you're alive, because I've actually talked to a mom that is a nurse down in Texas, and she lost her son to something very similar, and it was bleeding on the brain, and they just could, I think it was something like with a tumor, and they just, it never got better, you know.
Yeah,
It really is a miracle that you are still with us today.
yeah. And they, at that time, this was in 88, so, you know, it was the late 80s, 90s,
Yeah.
early 2000s, right? So that's what I grew up.
Yeah.
And back then, I don't even think they knew the term TBI or
Right.
whatever, because I
Right.
was not diagnosed until the pandemic with that.
Right.
And then, like, so this is delayed diagnosis and not realizing, realizing my whole life that something was all, wrong, but I didn't know what.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also have PTSD because
Mm.
of the tree accident. So, and we didn't know that in the 80s either.
Right.
So, but I could tell because, I'm the youngest out of 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw that my siblings were done being afraid of fireworks, loud noises, storms at a certain age. And I got to that age and I was still afraid. And I'm like, something makes no sense here. I
Mm.
should be done being afraid of this. But come to find out, it was PTSD all along. And so a traumatic brain injury, it's 38 years ago now. Can't believe it's been almost 40 years.
Wow, I know that's a long time.
And then 11 years later, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. So that's most of my life too, you know?
Yeah. And I notice, I can't help but notice that you have a dream catcher behind you,
Yeah.
and you have something that says dream. And I love that. Um, what's kept you going all these years? I say this because we've had shows where we've talked a lot about mental health,
It's a big thing, yeah.
and the
My mental health,
part that epilepsy plays, in our own mental health.
yeah, I just recently got diagnosed with autism and ADHD.
Mm,
And at the beginning of the pandemic, I got diagnosed with PTSD, depression, and anxiety.
mm,
And all those can come with epilepsy. And I'm just like,
right.
really? Of course I get all of it.
Yeah.
Just my luck, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I want to know. And I'm sure Mike's in the background going, wow, you've taken a lot of hits, in your life from a medical standpoint, but yet you're very courageous. You're very
Thank you.
courageous to get on here and tell your story. And you're also, you're, like you said, you're a dreamer.
Yeah.
You're just going to keep going. And
Yeah.
I just want to know, where do you find your strength? Where do you find your strength to keep going?
So it's interesting because you ask that, because when I was diagnosed, all the doctor said was, and I understand he had other patients, but all he told us was, I have epilepsy, which is a seizure disorder.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't take time to explain or past that.
Right.
And I'm a 15-year-old, a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind, like for a year and a half, I kept having dream nightmares of watching myself die from seizures.
Mm.
And then an English assignment in my class after that year and a half was do a research paper on the topic of your choice.
Mm.
And I was like, I did not want to keep having these dreams.
Mm.
So I found out about the Epilepsy Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got a lot of the information that I know
Okay.
about epilepsy. And as soon as I did that research paper, the dreams stopped.
Wow.
Like, imagine if the doctor took the time to explain past this being a seizure disorder, how different it could have been.
We talk. I'm right there with you. You're speaking the language that we talk about all the time. We're doing a whole series on surviving setup, what your neurologist won't tell you.
Yeah. And they
there's
never talk to me about it. They expect you to know about it and bring it up yourself. It's like, I didn't know about it until the National Walk for Epilepsy started in 2007.
Yeah, you really advocate. You're a very powerful woman. I just want to let you know that. You've really advocated for yourself. You know,
Yeah.
even through your own chronic illnesses and your own dis-ease with everything else going around you. You know,
Yeah.
because you've been diagnosed with ADHD, epilepsy, you've had this traumatic brain injury, you know, almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, diagnosed with autism. You know, these are all real heavy chronic illnesses, but yet it has not stopped you
Yeah.
advocating for yourself. And it's really helped shape the woman that you are. You're very strong. You have some kind of core about you that is not a quitter. You are a fighter.
Yeah.
You're a fighter.
Like my parents said,
I was just about that was going to be my next question. Do your parents know that about you? Like you are
my
a
dad
fighter.
calls me the miracle child. Because like I at first this like was hurt me hard, like when he first said it that they only wanted 2 kids and I'm the third one, right? But they kept me obviously, but like so like I was that unexpected child and then the miracle child on top of that, because who thinks of surviving that somebody would survive a tree accident, you know? Like,
Right.
and I learned out about being an advocate to the Epilepsy Foundation, like Epilepsy Awareness Ambassador. And then it's been 4 or 5 years now that Maryland has had the Maryland Seizure Safe Schools bill.
So awesome.
And
yeah.
I only found out about it the final year, the year that it got passed. And just sharing how unsafe I felt at school.
Yep.
Because my high school, the only way between classes was stairs or the elevator.
Yeah, in between. Yeah, because they don't, you know, that's interesting. I was just getting ready to look up. Colleen Quinn has done incredible work with Paul's Purple Warriors in New Jersey. And she has helped to pass a lot of legislation with regard to seizure safety in schools. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that. She is also an educator, behavioral specialist within the school system. So she knew a little bit about that. In Maryland, I was just about to look it up. Is it an actual law now? Because it's only in 25 states. You know, it's not in every single state. Like it's not here in Nevada. I know that. And I know that we're going to try to help get seizure safety into the schools here. I know that that's something that the community here in Nevada is really pushing for.
Yeah, I was glad I found out about it the year that it passed, because like I've been wanting to do something to
Nice.
make,
Good.
for the other people that are currently in schools, like, because like I said, there was the elevator, which I was supposed to take, right? But being a teenager, being a little rebellious, the quickest way was the stairs.
That's right.
So, of course, I was like, okay, I haven't fallen down the stairs yet. I won't today.
Yeah.
But one day, that all changed.
Yeah.
Because, and in my high school, there were 2 flights of stairs between floors.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell down one flight. But the day I fell down, luckily, I was with a friend of mine, and we were talking. And she said she heard the thump and turned back around and saw that I had fallen.
Wow.
And another friend of hers was with us, so he went to the nurse and the security, administrators, and said what happened. And
right.
Honestly, it was pretty embarrassing, because all of the other students are like, "Are you looking on?" And
yeah.
And then the paramedics. This was so annoying. They're like, backboard, no backboard. And then they were going to be trying to decide between 2 different hospitals in the area. And this lady there thinking, just get me out of here.
Yes, yeah. And they're checking your blood pressure and all of that. And, so when that would happen,
they sent 2 ambulances to the school, which
I'm sure, because,
they were and they had no clue which ambulance was
education around that. So I'm sure that was all going on.
And then literally, since I had already fallen down one flight of stairs, I had to go make a joke out of it and be like, just don't drop me. And then the paramedics told me, we're only allowed to drop 1 patient per day, and we already did that today.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Made me laugh.
Yeah. They're trying to tease you.
Yeah, well, because they knew I was playing with them.
Yeah, they're trying to make light of a very serious subject. I know we have to try to do that here too, because epilepsy is, it's a very serious subject. And, I have an amazing producer who actually happens to also be a comedian. And I'm a very serious woman. So he's trying to make me laugh all the time and, kind of, get me to lighten up a little bit, because I'm always so serious. But
that's the hard thing with a lot of the stuff that I deal with is it's so easy to mask everything and pretend everything's fine.
Yeah.
And how do you tell people oh, I'm dealing with this. I'm dealing with this. Because all of a sudden, if you start telling them everything you're dealing with, it feels like you're being a burden. And that's just another layer of mental health,
it's so
all
true.
The different thoughts that go through your mind and being what's the point? I could die from a seizure at any point. And so I'm afraid to fall asleep. I have trouble sleeping. I have sleep apnea. Which honestly, I don't use my CPAP.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like these are all byproducts. I always thought that seizures, and I think most people think that seizures or epilepsy is an isolated event, meaning a seizure. That's it. You have a seizure, it's an isolated event, and that's what epilepsy is.
No.
But I think most people don't understand the mental health piece with epilepsy, meaning depression, suicide. The suicide rate is way higher in epilepsy than any other community. So, and it's the mind, piece neurologically. Also the lack of sleep, as you said, just the anxiety that a lot of epileptics, deal with, the shame, the guilt, the hiding.
Where, how long would it be? Will I be taken to the hospital? Will I be able to just go home? And in my high school, I told them during the advocacy for the bill that I had to decide between stairs and the elevator, And then during fire drills, if they were unplanned, I had to decide between going down and seeing the flashing light or with everybody else, or go into what they called the safe room for those
Right.
that couldn't go down the stairs
Mhm.
for fire personnel to come. And like, I would have dreams of dying in a burning building because like having to
Wow.
wait in a room for fire personnel to come get you.
Yeah.
Like, so all of that just made me feel so unsafe. And the staff not being trained in seizure recognition and
Yeah.
like being accused of faking seizures.
Right.
Like, I'm just like, I was even accused by a neurologist of faking seizures at a camp for people with epilepsy. I'm like, you're a neurologist. You shouldn't be
Yeah.
accusing.
Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, I've never heard that in over 20 episodes of anyone being falsely accused of having a fake seizure. I would love to know in the comments today if you've ever been accused of having a fake seizure. Please drop that in the comments. I would love to know if any of you out there in our community have ever been accused of having a fake seizure or faking your seizures. I'm so sorry. Like, that's just terrible, Courtney. It's absolutely horrible.
And so
What would you want people to know going forward with regard to all the bullying and all the different things that you experience in school and now being years removed from that, but still having these diagnoses? What would you want people to know that don't have epilepsy? What can they do to help epileptics?
So obviously ask how they're doing, and we try to say fine, good, like everybody does, right?
Right.
But you have to think about the mental health piece and be like, and then not push them, but like ask, like, how are you really doing? Like,
Good.
don't just give the generic answer because there's so much that comes with it. And I've been learning so much through my journey how like hard it is to like be honest about how I'm feeling and how to describe exactly what's going on in my brain. And like, I was on meds from 99 through May of 2017, taken off, and then I had 2 breakthrough seizures while in a mental health unit in a local hospital in September of 21. And then I had a couple more after I returned home from the unit in 21. So I got put back on meds, and then that cycle again of figuring out the right meds. And then it seemed fine. And then last year I started having seizures again. So the med thing started again, and then switching my antidepressant med and like getting ADHD med, and it's this med like, and that's the other thing, it can cause memory issues. So like, I really have to see, like, did I take my meds yet? And that's one thing I'd suggest too, is finding a like pill container like this, so you don't have to think, did I take it? Did I not? Because sometimes I look over and I realize I haven't taken the afternoon meds yet, and then I'm like, oh, okay, let me take them.
I hear a lot of people setting alarms on their phones and different things, you know, their
For
family.
me, when I get the alarm, I like totally ignore it. I dismiss it, and then I totally forget.
I one time found a letter from my son that said, "Yes, Mom, I took my meds." And I think as a parent or as a caretaker, that's one of the things that we're always doing with our kids. Did you take your meds? 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 That's like
I was about to say that my family did that to me, and I kept getting so annoyed at them.
Yes, understandably so.
Being a teenager, like not wanting to like.
Understandably so.
Now looking back, I'm like, I'm so glad they did that, you know, because there was one day that I was so. This was the first time around on meds, I was so used to taking it that there was one day I did not take it at all. Like, my parents were out. My sister was in the house sleeping, and I was down. She knew I was already up and downstairs, and we had a dog. He was not trained in seizures or anything.
Yeah.
Seizure. So he was just a family dog, and he was barking. She thought he was barking at squirrels outside, like all dogs do, right? And I wasn't responding to her, and then she came down and realized he was trying to get her attention to let her know that I was having a seizure in the chair. And my parents come home and said to me, "Did you realize that you haven't taken your meds all day?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, because you're just, the memory is just, I hear that a lot.
I was just having so much fun just sitting in the chair, doing nothing and relaxing. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's why I have that seizure.
Yeah.
And then I also learned,
Courtney, you are such a
remember to refill the medications if your pharmacy allows it. Have them put it on autofill.
Good idea. Yeah.
Because in 2006, a month before my sister's wedding, and I was a maid of honor, I broke my ankle, and I didn't realize I was running out of one of my seizure meds.
Oh my God.
I was in the hospital for the ankle. And I hadn't renewed it, so we had to renew it when I was in the hospital. And then that's when I realized, wait, I could have them put the meds on autofill, and then they messaged me saying it's ready for pickup. There's one that's ready to be filled. Do you want it filled? And then so it's like just the technology, because like I'm in that in between generation, right? Where like the technology was just starting to come out.
Right.
I said this to my siblings during the pandemic. What would we have done if there was a pandemic when we were growing up?
Right.
Would the technology come out a lot faster? Would we just have not had school? Like, how were we like, like, it's just
it's time now to come up for a cure for epilepsy. It's time to come up for a cure for seizures by now.
And doctors, to be totally honest with the patient,
100%.
Like, literally, because one of my meds, like when I was a teenager, I found out after I broke my ankle that it can cause fragile bones. And the doctor saw that I had a broken ankle. I'm like, you could have told me this before it happened?
Yes. Doctors, we love you so much, but sometimes we just think you're so busy and you just don't know it all, and I guess we expect that they will. But so let me just we're going to close with this, because I know you mentioned to people what you would want people that don't have epilepsy to know. What would you want people to know about epilepsy?
So because of all the misfirings that the brain does when you have seizures, like, honestly, we don't remember the seizures. So when somebody says you had a seizure, we're like, no, I didn't. What do you mean I had a seizure? Like, and then the doctor's asking us what the seizure looks like as the patient, and we're like, I don't know. Like, you're asking me, and I'm the one that had it. Like,
right. So you're going to them for answers. Mike, our producer, has just pulled up Your Dreams Do Come True. You've dedicated this book to those that feel alone and have no voice, and you want them to know that they're not alone. We love this so much. You can find it on Amazon. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, so this was actually one of my dreams since I was in middle school. I was writing a poem in creative writing class in middle school, and I didn't realize this until many years later. Even back in 97, I said, because being in the DC area, we all like, I want to be a famous this, I want to be a famous that. Right?
Funny.
Every teenager in this area wants to be famous something. And in that poem I said, I want to be
invisible, Courtney.
Yeah. I want to be a famous artist. And I don't even remember writing that, right? It was just something to put in a poem. And I thought it was just a pipe dream because I'm like, how am I going to publish? But then the person that I started therapy with during the pandemic, she was in North Carolina, and we met through a coaching program. And she noticed that I was struggling and like with my mental health and like stuff. And she's a therapist. So she started working with me for therapy, and I told her about wanting to publish because I'm in like some of my poems are in anthologies, but I was like, why not write my own book? Like create a book of my own with all my poems, some of my poems. So this book actually took 21 years to get published because I was still in school for most of that time, right? So I was focusing on school, not really publishing, and I thought, okay, it's really not going to be published anyways because there's no way to publish it. So my therapist at the time said, you can self-publish, right?
That's right.
I'm like,
that's right. Yeah.
That was like, I'm like, no. I was like, I totally thought there is no such thing as self-publishing because I grew up in the 90s. So, like, all you think about is all those famous authors, right? Like,
Courtney, you are remarkable. You know that? You are remarkable. And I love that you did this. I love that. I was just listening to somebody the other day. They said, you know what? It doesn't take like and there's no such thing as an overnight success.
Right.
This is very significant, which to me interprets as a success. But they say their overnight success takes 15 years. So it's all the preparation, that goes into that.
Yeah.
And I just love that you say that this book is dedicated to those that feel alone, and they feel like they don't have a voice because you want them to know that they're not. And I love that you were able to come on with us today and just share a little bit about yourself and your story and your epilepsy journey. And hopefully people they can get your book at Amazon, it looks like.
Yeah. And there's a couple of other books there too now. Like after this one was published 3 or 4 months later, I published another one. And then 3 or 4 months later, I published another one.
Author. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome.
This was during the pandemic and we couldn't go out anywhere. And
oh my gosh, a little celebrity over there. Mike, we had another celebrity in the house. Mike, thank you so much for pulling this up. This is awesome. Much for being yes, let's give her another hand cheering hand clap. That's awesome. And I am proud of you, Courtney, for doing this, and we just thank you so much for being on the feed today and Faces of Epilepsy and sharing your story. And I hope people will go and purchase your book, and if they want to get in touch with you and they want to talk to you, they can also reach out to you through Facebook.
Yes.
Perfect.
And there's another thing I wanted to say. The being like, for those that feel like they have no voice, like I felt like that, right? I felt I had no voice. I was bullied by peers in elementary school for the way I was spoke because I had speech therapy. So like there were certain sounds and words that I couldn't say correctly.
Yeah.
And my sister saw it happening. She's older than me. So she tried and told them to stop. They don't listen to her either. But like she was that voice for me when I felt like I had no voice. And I read something she wrote in middle school paper that she felt like she didn't do enough for me. And that broke my heart. And a lot of families probably feel that way.
Yeah.
That they aren't doing enough for the person with whatever disability it is.
Yeah.
But just know there is no such thing as not doing enough. I told her it was more than enough because it showed me how to be a voice for people that feel like they have no voice.
I love that.
So like I wanted to let her know it was more than enough of like what she did. And like she tried to protect me. She was that good older sister, And it just, like I said, it broke my heart seeing her write that, seeing that she wrote that. And I'm just like, and it's funny enough, it was in my lockbox. So I thought it was one of my the papers I wrote. So I guess it was meant for me to find that. And
yes, it was.
you
Yes,
know.
it was. You are such a bright, shining light, you know, in this world. And
Thank you.
the accomplishments that you've had with all the hits that you've taken in life.
And
from
I'm a
all of
first
us
degree
that
black
do.
belt in Taekwondo. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, you're so powerful. And I had no idea that you were doing all this stuff. It's so amazing, you know. But I wanted to hear your story with like a fresh perspective today. Mike, again, thank you so much to our producer for pulling up all your books. Everyone can go get those on Amazon. We love you, Courtney. Thank you so very much from all of us at the F.E.E.D. God bless you. And we love you, Courtney. We hope to have you back on again.
okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.